You know that moment when someone says, "fine," and the room suddenly feels colder than winter. Your stomach drops, your smile freezes, and you start replaying every word like security footage tonight. You try another question, softer this time, but their face closes like a shop shutter instantly. Now you feel pushy, awkward, maybe even stupid, and somehow their silence starts feeling personal tonight. Most people think opening others up is about better questions, smoother charm, or perfect emotional timing. It is not, and that mistake is exactly why conversations keep dying in your hands lately. Because people do not open up when they feel managed or gently cornered by anyone. They open when their nervous system stops scanning for danger and believes nothing bad follows honesty. That is what this video gives you, and once you see it, people start surprising you. First, I will show why good intentions still make people emotionally step backward instead of closer. Then I will give you a simple move that makes guarded people feel safe fast today. And later I will show the hidden mistake that secretly shuts hearts before conversations even begin. Start here. Stop hunting for depth before the other person has felt your emotional temperature first. People can sense urgency faster than words like dogs hear thunder before rain reaches windows nearby. If your eyes say tell me something real, their body hears prove you are safe first. So your first job is not extracting truth, it is lowering the social cost immediately there. That means softer pacing, less leaning forward, and no desperate little nods begging for vulnerability ever. Imagine sitting across from a friend gripping a coffee cup like it might answer for them. Instead of rushing in, let your shoulders drop and your face stop performing concern for once. Calm is contagious when it looks unforced, and forced calm feels creepier than obvious anxiety sometimes. People trust what your body communicates before they trust anything your mouth politely asks them tonight. This is why some strangers confess everything to bartenders and absolutely nothing to concerned relatives nearby. Bartenders often feel easier because they are present without acting like a rescue mission at all. When someone senses you trying to fix them, they immediately become a problem to manage instead. Nobody relaxes while feeling converted into a project, even by someone kind and well-meaning nearby. So replace concerned performance with quiet permission, the feeling that nothing must happen right now here. One line helps immediately. We can leave it there as talking feels expensive for you tonight. That sentence sounds small, but it removes the trapdoor beneath their feet right before speaking begins. Suddenly, honesty is optional, and optional honesty feels much safer than required honesty to most people. Weirdly, freedom invites disclosure better than pressure because control is the opposite of threat for humans. The second move is simpler than people expect. Ask about what they noticed, not what happened. Facts feel reportable, but perception feels personal, and personal answers quietly open deeper doors for conversations. Ask how that felt, and people can dodge with polite summaries they rehearsed already many times. Ask what stood out, and suddenly they have to revisit the moment with fresh eyes again. Instead of saying, "How was the breakup?" try asking what hit you hardest afterward that night. Instead of asking, "Was work stressful?" ask when you realized today was already ruined for you. Specific angles bypass autopilot, and autopilot is where nearly every dead conversation lives for most people. The brain loves recognizable paths, so generic questions trigger generic answers without anyone noticing it happening. But a fresh question creates a tiny pause, and inside that pause lives honesty waiting quietly. You can watch it happen in real time. Eyes shift, shoulders loosen, breath changes right there. That pause is the doorway, so do not rush to fill it with helpful guesses ever. Most people sabotage good moments because silence makes them nervous, not because silence is wrong ever. Silence is where the other person hears themselves, and self-hearing is where truth forms slowly. If you jump in too early, they return to safety before the thought fully lands inside. Think about texting someone mid-confessional and watching three dots vanish before the real message arrives. That same disappearance happens face-to-face when you interrupt uncertainty with comfort too fast there. Let the moment breathe long enough for them to choose honesty instead of defaulting to performance. If this is changing how you listen, subscribe and comment with the hardest person to read. The third move sounds backward. Reveal something first, but make it light enough to hold comfortably. People open faster around someone who offers a real edge, not a polished emotional showroom facade. I do not mean trauma dumping over appetizers or hijacking their story with your biography tonight. I mean naming one honest, manageable truth that proves you are not hiding behind technique anymore. Something like, "I never know whether to ask again," or "give people space right away sometimes." Or I used to panic whenever someone got quiet because silence felt like blame to me. Small honesty gives the other person a ledge, and ledges make emotional climbing possible for anyone. It tells them this conversation is not an interrogation booth with perfect lighting or hidden cameras. It becomes two nervous humans standing in the same weather instead of one studying another closely. The mistake is oversharing too early because intensity can feel like an unpaid emotional bill arriving. When your vulnerability needs immediate reciprocity, it is still pressure wearing softer clothes than usual today. So keep your first reveal clean, brief, and true, like striking one match in darkness nearby. Watch how often the other person answers honesty with honesty when you make that first move. Not because they owe you anything, but because emotional courage is strangely contagious between people sometimes. The fourth move is learning to notice what someone protects, not just what they say aloud. People reveal themselves through editing long before they reveal themselves through confession to anyone nearby ever. Listen for the strange places where they suddenly get efficient, funny, or dismissive for no reason. That sharp little shift usually sits right beside something tender, embarrassing, or unresolved inside them lately. Someone jokes right after mentioning their father, and the joke arrives half a second early there. Someone shrugs while describing a brutal week, but their hands squeeze the steering wheel hard anyway. Someone says it is whatever, yet repeats the story 3 times from 3 angles that night. Those moments are not random. They are doors disguised as exits from deeper feeling entirely there. Instead of chasing the obvious emotion, gently name the pattern you noticed in them just now. You got serious for a second there, then joked, I wonder what happened inside just then. Or, you keep saying it was nothing but your voice disagrees every time you mention it. Pattern naming works because it feels observant, not invasive when your tone stays gentle and curious. You are not forcing content, you are holding up a mirror without judgment or agenda there. A good mirror does not accuse, and that is why people keep looking into it longer. The fifth move is the one almost nobody practices: regulate your reaction when truth finally appears. This matters more than the question because people remember what honesty cost them in your presence. If they confess something messy and your face flashes shock, pity, or instant advice door slam. If they admit fear and you rush to reassure they feel corrected before fully heard there. Most people can survive pain easier than they can survive being emotionally mishandled by others nearby. So when they finally hand you something real, receive it like fragile glass with both hands. Slow your face, lower your voice, and resist turning their confession into immediate strategy or rescue. Try saying that makes sense, or I can see why that stayed with you this long. Simple validation keeps them inside the moment instead of pushing them back into defense again fast. Then if it fits, ask one more question that follows their emotion, not your curiosity there. Notice the difference between what do you mean and what happens next for you after that. One sounds like cross-examination, the other sounds like walking beside them, another step through it. This is where real conversations stop feeling like techniques and start feeling like relief for everyone. And relief is powerful because people return wherever they feel less alone inside themselves for once. But there is still one deeper reason some people open to you and others never will. It is not charisma, and it is not perfect empathy either for this reason alone though. The hidden filter is whether people feel free to disappoint the version of them you prefer. This is the part most advice misses because it sounds nicer to discuss questions than expectations. But people instantly sense when your warmth depends on them being honest in a certain way. Maybe you want vulnerability, but only neat vulnerability. Grateful vulnerability, redeemable vulnerability from them right now. Maybe you say open up while secretly hoping they confirm your comforting story about them tonight. Maybe you ask what is wrong, but visibly relax only when the answer seems acceptable enough. People feel that leash immediately, even if you never say controlling word out loud there. And once honesty threatens belonging, most people choose belonging every single time over truth for safety. So the deepest skill is not making people talk, it is making truth socially survivable first. Can this person tell me something ugly, confusing, selfish, petty, jealous, or ashamed, and stay safe? That question changes everything, because now you are not chasing disclosure, you are building permission instead. Permission sounds like you do not need to make this sound better for me right now. It sounds like whatever it is, you're not going to scare me off tonight here. It sounds like you're allowed to be complicated here without me shrinking away from you. When people feel that their shoulders stop auditioning and their words finally become unedited and real, you have seen this happen somewhere: midnight car rides, airport benches, kitchen counters after disasters together. honesty blooms in places where nobody seems eager to convert it into a lesson right away. That is why the strongest communicators do not feel impressive first, they feel spacious instead inside. Spacious people do not rush your sentence, rescue your discomfort, or polish your rough edges away. They let reality arrive exactly as it is, and that is rare for most people today. So if you want people to open up, become harder to perform around for others consistently. Drop the hunger to be reassuring, insightful, impressive, or immediately useful in every moment there, please. Be steady enough that truth does not have to dress up before entering the room today. Because the real secret is this: people open up where they do not feel edited down. That is the whole game, and almost nobody notices they are playing editor in conversations daily. Remove the invisible red pen, and people start handing you pages they hid for years silently. Not because you unlock them, but because you stop making honesty feel like a test anymore. And once someone feels safe enough to be unedited, connection stops being effort and becomes automatic. You do not need magic lines, perfect timing, or therapist-level insight to do this well. You need a nervous system that says your truth can land here intact without punishment today. That message is quieter than technique, but people hear it louder than words in every room. Become that place. Conversations stop feeling like locked doors and start feeling like home again. The fastest way to another heart is simple. Make honesty feel safer than hiding from you.